When I first arrived at college, my attempts at cooking were rough at best, Cronenbergian at the worst. Over my college career, I'd eaten so many dishes that would have made non-college students cringe. Macaroni and cheese sandwiches, week-old bread from the dining hall, and a myriad of culinary experiments that could have at any point jumped off the table and eaten me. I soon noticed I was not alone. As I started spending more and more time in the Diggum labs, I witnessed meals consisting of culinary catastrophes like Pop-Tarts, 7-Eleven coffee, and copious amounts of Red Bull. Even lab drinking, the inevitable mix of regular soul-crushing critiques and stressful all-nighters, was done in a less than satisfactory way. There has to be a better way. What's stopping us as college students from taking charge of our lives and learning to eat better food, brew better coffee, and day drink better alcohol? I decided to embark on a mission to create the first cookbook geared at college students that accurately accounts for their brittle budgets, picky palates, and strained schedules. One of the initial reactions to my proposed project was that there was already a mountain of material on the topic, aimed at college students. So what would separate my cookbook from the available work? This question led me on a journey deep into the heart of the local library, where I surveyed 15 books, all on the topic of teaching college students how to cook. One of the major issues I took with the available texts were their unreasonable assumptions about the disposable income of students. Other times, they need advanced cooking methods, or the recipes would need hours to cook. The worst offenders took a lot of time, money, and effort, and the outcome just looked terrible. My first attempt at cooking for this course was attempting to make a recipe I concocted myself to be a culmination of two of my favorite foods, chicken parmesan and sandwiches. Prior to this, I had extensive experience in the field of sandwich making, but almost none in the field of meat preparation, which would lead to one of the worst nights of my life. Salmonella, according to the Center for Disease Control, is a genus of rod-shaped gram-negative bacteria. Salmonella is also a foodborne pathogen carried by uncooked chicken and pet turtles. Shel Silverstein, my pet turtle, is 4,908 miles away. Clearly, the uncooked chicken was the culprit. Since a lot of this class dealt with inspiration, I decided I needed a mentor for food preparation. While Alton Brown, the host of Food Network's Good Eats, is unaware that I consider him my mentor, I've studied almost everything he's put out. His approach to cooking, from a scientific standpoint, dramatically helped my project. At one point, I decided that a novel approach to college cooking would be teaching the culinary arts using only a red Solo cup for cooking. I had even invented a really great scrambled egg in a cup recipe before learning that red Solo cups, when microwaved, release carcinogens or cancer-causing agents. Since I was one Google search away from accidentally giving my entire readership cancer, I again returned to the drawing board to rethink this project. I decided to take a middle road between asking my readers to follow a recipe and allowing them to learn. What if the users not only got a recipe they could follow, but allows them if they have time to think critically about what they're doing? My first well-received meal was cooked about 2 weeks ago. I decided to go simple, pasta with red sauce. My inspiration was a leftover bottle of red wine from Thanksgiving. The mixes of spices, combined with fresh pasta and properly prepared meat, worked really well with each other. I asked my roommates to confirm that I had made something worthwhile. My roommates were not only able to create the meal from my recipe, but they were also able to use the expanded section on learning to think critically in the kitchen to pair the pasta with an appropriate carb-based side. They were not able to pair the dish with wine as I was hoping, because the liquor store was closed. They did pick up Welch's grape juice though, which is pretty close. I'm really glad that I put in the time and effort into learning how to cook. I've come away from this experience with a new appreciation of the culinary arts. I'm much more willing to choose preparing my own food rather than paying out the nose to have somebody cook it for me. I've also created a solid repertoire of foods that I can prepare for myself. Over the course of this project, I learned about the way food works together and how the body processes it. I learned how to write a recipe and the best ways to write instructions for others to properly follow them. And, best of all, I learned how to cook some really amazing food that could be prepared as I continue my animation degree. I don't want to sound at all hyperbolic, but I honestly think that a lot of these recipes that I've created or scouted out could do college students a lot of good. I also don't believe that my recipes should be the end-all to the way food is prepared. For that reason, I think these recipes should be stuck in the public domain. That way students can creatively engage with my process and make it their own.